So, hello, we are here, Fabian and Aldyn and Anastasia, and we are going to discuss Chapter 9 of A Course in Miracles, and we have come up with the collective question of how do you, resolve twin flame rejection?
Right.
Did I say this right?
The fear of rejection, right?
Right, yeah, dissolving the block, yeah.
Yeah, so let's
dive in.
dive in.
Woo!
How do you actually dissolve the fear of rejection? And I think, like, can we say paragraph 2? The answer to prayer from chapter 9 is really good for this question. How do you dissolve the fear of rejection in the twin flame connection?
Yeah, and well, it basically would just say that you will first have to dissolve your fears so that you're open to receiving your prayer.
Right, and so interestingly enough, what it pretty much directly says, and what this also means, is that we can, pray all day for our one true loves and our twin flames, and yes, saying the decree to bring them into our lives and really meaning it and opening up our hearts can allow our twin flames to come into our lives and all that. So great. But actually, when we pray for things that we are fearful of actually receiving, because perhaps we feel like we don't deserve all the good, we have wounds from childhood that we have not mirrored, uncleared, or what have you. It's not compassionate, divinely compassionate to bring us what we are fearing. And so one big step there is healing our fear of rejection, because many of us have at some point, who are on this twin flame journey, or not saying this needs to happen in any kind of a way, but face, messages or interactions that superficially appear to be rejection, but actually they are calling us into a deeper place to heal that fear that we have, even though we're calling out and to have our prayers answered. We are fearful of this rejection deep inside of us. And so first we mirror that fear that we have, and it's actually of rejecting our own selves. And in doing that, we help dissolve at least some portion, so that our path is clear to being able to allow for union to happen in the physical.
Right. And what was really interesting when I read it says something like, we are praying for a lot of things all day long, and most of them don't really manifest right in front of us. So we could say, well, I am praying for my ultimate lover, my twin flame, for so long now, and it just doesn't happen. And so we could think that, this whole thing does not work. My prayers aren't answered. This is the proof, right? But it is not like this. The truth is that every prayer is answered immediately. But if it doesn't manifest, it just means that we are afraid of it. So when we do have the desire for our twin flame and want to manifest it, but don't see the manifestation yet, it means that there is still a fear within our consciousness that says, oh, I'm afraid of the connection. I'm afraid of harmonious twin flame union in some way. And this is why we don't see the manifestation in our lives. And so for me, very interestingly, is that the fear of rejection is just, it's not the root here. The root is that we are afraid of harmonious union. And because of this fear, we are afraid of rejection, which is like, it builds up on the fear of harmonious union.
Yeah, and it's actually why your twin appears to be rejecting you, even though they really aren't. It's because you're doing it because they are you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's very good, like what you're both saying, like because it's almost like the flip side of why, you know, there's that fear of rejection. Like the flip side is that harmonious union is scary for, like, because it's too like maybe too good to be true, or, you know, there's a lot of blocks that are possible, and but you know, what is that underlying thing? And I think that's just wonderful, is like to say it like that, is the fear of that, you know, baseline connection, which is already in us. So we already have harmonious union in us. So what we're really doing is blocking ourselves, you know, from that that truth. But it doesn't mean that it isn't there. And so yes, like our prayers are being answered, but not manifesting when we're, you know, still fearing the answer to our prayers. Yeah.
Right, because it's like you have a window, and you know, harmonious union's behind the window, and then like you have all these smudges on the window. So the smudges is like what is like your fears and the illusion, and you have to wipe that shit off before you're open to getting, and then like you see it and you have it, and there you go.
Mm-hmm. Then you climb up the ladder, you know, or the tree, and into the window.
No, silly, you got all the crud off. You just like opened the window and jumped in.
Okay.
Sounds good, yeah. So when I feel into the fear of harmonious union, what I feel is like not being good enough, also losing a sense of self, sense of identity, and also a belief that there is something better out there, in the sense that,
oh, I don't like that one, because I had a lot of bull crap behind that. Yeah, that's a crappy one.
And you know, the illusion is very addictive and tempting. So we could say that this is actually what we want, the illusion, because it appears to feel better, but we know the truth, right? So we can let these beliefs go, and especially the belief that says that we are not good enough yet. And I think this is something that leads to a lot of rejection, right? Because when our twin flame rejects us, it is just a reflection of us rejecting ourselves. When we experience rejection that is coming from our twin flame, it just shows us that there's something that we can heal within us. And so the question now is, how do we actually dissolve the fear of rejection, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of harmonious union? And when I feel into myself, the the first thing that comes to mind here is the mirror exercise.
Yeah.
Right? Love all these parts in yourself that are out of alignment. Yeah, it's loving all these parts. And another thing here is that I got from chapter 9 from A Course in Miracles is that your perception, you can change it. You can focus on good stuff and negative stuff. And whatever you focus upon, this grows, right? So you always want to focus on the positive things. And when you experience so-called rejection in your twin flame connection, keep in mind that it only appears this way on the surface level, and you don't want to focus on the surface level. You want to focus on the truth, and the truth is that your twin flame is loving you always. It doesn't matter how it looks like. And when you focus on this truth and really make an effort to see and feel this truth, then this is what will grow, right? Then you will cultivate the love.
Yes, that is so true. Ah, I love it.
Yeah, I love the word cultivate. I always love when we talk about like relating our spirituality to like gardens. And I wanted to read this little part here. It's paragraph 8 on page 165 to kind of reflect and go a little bit deeper.
Yes, I love this part.
So it says, believe in your brothers because I believe in you. And you will learn that my belief in you is justified. Believe in me by believing in them, for the sake of what God gave them. They will answer you if you learn to ask only truth of them. Do not ask for blessings without blessing them, for only in this way can you learn how blessed you are. By following this way, you are seeking the truth in you. This is not going beyond yourself, but toward yourself. Hear only God's answer in his sons, and you are answered. So,
really good one, yeah.
Yeah, and no matter what we are getting, in words or and or actions, or I don't know, like anything else, just energy we're picking up from our twin flames, and I guess our environment and people at large, since everything is a reflection of our inner sanctum.
Yeah.
We can really love anything that we're getting from them, because we can like you were saying, perceive the good, and then in that way step toward the truth behind it, and begin to purify it, through mirroring, and all of that, walking our spiritual paths. And so we do our inner work, and we go to where we're guided to go, like humbly, with love, without attacking, without seeing the attack from the other side, because there is no attack from the other side. That is an illusion. And if we feel that, we only feel that because it is something coming up for us to dissolve, so that we can, see more clearly our harmonious union within and manifest.
Yes, that's beautiful. And it also helps me think too, like, since, you know, we're all one, like whatever you're doing yourself to, well, whatever you're doing to other people, like you're doing it to yourself, you know what I mean? So that's cool to think about as well. Not saying like I would think about bad shit often, but if I did, it helped me because I was like, wait a minute. I just said that. Wow, I must think about that about myself. You know what I mean? So.
And when you mentioned that it is so important to believe and focus on the good and positive, it spoke to me because for me it is so important also to believe in my twin flame and actually trust her. Because let's imagine we are in a period of separation where we have no contact, or she might even block contact. So I might be fearful and maybe think that, oh, what is she doing now? I kind of need to control things here. Whatever, I don't want to bad things to happen here, right? And how will we ever find back together? And will she ever come to the realization that she actually loves me? You know, these are all these things that where we think we need to control stuff. But so it is important to trust, like trust yourself, your twin flame, trust the universe that it will all work out. And what really helps me to trust my twin flame more is understanding that, oh, she is me. She is me. So she is actually really mature and like uses like reason, you know, and makes the right decision. So, and at the same time, she must like follow God in a way because I do it. So
Absolutely.
what can I be afraid of? If she is making the same choices all the time and I am doing good things and I'm doing them and I focus on love and I never give up on myself or my union, never do it. So she can't do it. So it doesn't matter how it looks like, right?
Yeah.
It is really very relieving to think of it this way for me.
Yeah, absolutely. That was beautiful.
Yeah, and I think if we ever stray from that, we can always go back to the love in our own hearts and find our twin flames there with us, and just, you know, one word, love. So and trust and love really kind of meld together and become one, you know, like a very sturdy foundation from which, you know, union can really build upon. And you know, that feels really, really peaceful and just really good. And that's, you know, that's everything.
Absolutely, yes. And I think this is how you dissolve the fear of rejection. And like what was said in chapter 9 for me. I don't know if we are finished here. At least this is what I'm feeling, is that we kind of covered this question now. But if you have anything to add.
I feel like we covered it. I don't know. I feel like there was something else somehow, but I feel like pretty peaceful about it. just I guess maybe like reiterating really quickly, you know, or like a positive decree, you know, too might be really helpful. I don't know if anyone has like kind of an affirmation that they have like in their
just like the one that I saw in the book.
Okay, great.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not really an affirmation, but kinda it's like one. Christ is in me, and where he is, God must be, for Christ is part of him.
Oh, thank you, Anastasia. That's beautiful. I love that.
So can you repeat it one more time?
Christ is in me, and where he is, God must be, for Christ is part of him.
Very good, yes. And Christ is also in your twin flame, right? Because
yep.
He is in you. Good.
Beautiful.
So it's safe to trust and stuff.
So it is.
So it is. Do we want to pull a card here?
Yes. Anastasia.
Anastasia.
I pulled one already.
Cool.
And y'all are gonna love this. It is
what is
Nikes. Open your heart.
Oh.
Beautiful.
I allow myself to feel the full range of emotions, especially all the forms of love. So the book says, you know, I'm not an expert card reader, but I'm getting there. LMNOP. LMNOP. Where's... Oh, I didn't get there. All right. I'm just going to read it. This is a card with a very important message for you. Spend less time thinking and analyzing and more time feeling and experiencing. Mother Mary asks you to open your heart more. She realizes that you may have some fears about being emotionally hurt, and she offers to comfort, support, and guide you.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what we've just been talking about.
Fear of being hurt.
Yeah, right.
And I would like to add, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, I want to add that just this card really drove something even like kind of deeper for me, and that is just the reminder that you know, this spiritual work and everything does not mean to disclude those uncomfortable feelings and emotions that come up, you know, somehow.
Yeah.
So we're not over analyzing here, and we're not like, oh, you know, like only focus on the good. Don't look at that thing over there that, you know, is trying to come up and upheave. You know, that's, so there is like this, just this natural process that we allow to unfold and to open, or, you know, however your energy is toward going along your path. And that just is inclusive of authentically feeling your emotions in your heart space. And so, and in that, you know, we do dissolve, like, you know, the fear of rejection and all that.
Yeah, I fully 100% agree with that. It's like, you know, because I would get caught up in the upheaval and like it was a horrible thing that I was feeling this and like da 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 da, but like it's really a good thing because, you know, I read in one of the Dr. Hawkins books, I don't know which book, that in order to let go of an emotion or like the buildup, you have to feel it. So, like, it's a good thing.
Feel it to heal it, right?
Beautiful.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it's cool. Did the book say something else that you wanted to
Oh,
read?
yeah, it did say something else. I didn't know if I was going to finish. Of
Oh,
all the
sorry.
components, no, you're fine. Of all the components of your spiritual path, opening yourself up to experiencing love is the most essential. Make the conscious choice to risk being hurt and drop emotional defenses. Be vulnerable and real and allow others to get to know the true you. Mother Mary and Archangel Michael act as your shield so that you can be open and protected simultaneously.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, it's about being vulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not being afraid of rejection and thus like shielding yourself in a way that you close off, right? And don't even share your authentic self. It's letting this one go and express what you are really feeling, focusing on the love, on the emotions, and going like, not don't being too much in your head, like being centered in your heart and
Yes.
like going with the flow of things, not thinking too much, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep,
this
being
allows
your true
us.
self.
Yeah, yeah, this allows us to like give and receive love. So be receptive to love and give it in the flow.
Very good. Feels
Very
complete
good.
for me.
Well, that's all, folks. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. We have completed our, what is it, like our third video? Is this our third
Yeah.
one? Yeah, so everyone have a very nice day.
Thanks, guys.
Namaste.
Till next time.